Kerry, what a champion. What a guy, what a wrestler, and such untapped potential. I mean, all the Von Erichs really had untapped potential, but for some reason, even though we saw Kerry in the WWF and World Class and AWA and wherever, I feel like he had a lot more to give. He could have been a much bigger star, as big a star as he was. So, when we did the World Class vlog, featuring many autographs of all the Von Erichs, I told you there was a fifth Kerry autograph that I have that I wasn't showing. Well, here it is. We're going to look at it today as promised. This is a promo photo from one of the conventions that he did near the end of his life, either late 92 or early 93, which was one of the Arezzi conventions. And there's footage of him being managed by, I believe, it was by a woman that actually ties into my story of how I got this on YouTube. And he's wearing a mask, but he's still wearing the Kerry jacket. That's classic Kerry. I actually got this. It was a I Can't Sleep 4 a.m. eBay buy I'd say about 10 to 15 years ago, probably more on the side of 15. Some guy or gal or whatever listed them for like $15 a piece, and for some reason I didn't buy the woman photo that he had, and I don't know why. I just said, oh boy, a Kerry. I didn't have any of my Kerry Von Erich autographs at the time, and I got one. As you can see, it is signed in silver, and silver Sharpies didn't exist until about 10 years after his death. He had, and they were around, they weren't as common as your normal Sharpie, but it was sort of a little silver marker paint pen. There's actually photos of him signing with it, and there was a authenticated I hate authentication and grading. It's the bane of the existence of this hobby. But anyway, it was an authenticated 4x6 of him working out, signed in the same silver paint pen, including the Tornado. I think the Tornado had a little smudge in it, but obviously it was signed around the same time, perhaps even at the same show. It's just kind of a cool thing. I mean, Kerry signed a lot. After all, he even did conventions near the end of his life, but that's probably not where he signed the bulk of his autographs. I mean, you can see him on the World Class shows, all the Von Erich boys coming down, signing autographs right in the ring, on the way to the ring. They did appearances. I mean, right here, I started this whole thing off with an appearance at a gym that he apparently owned into or was affiliated with somehow. They made a ton of appearances. So in turn, there are, I wouldn't say a ton, like someone who's been doing conventions for the past 15 years since the golden age of conventions, but there are a lot out there. But still, people are going to jack the price up and normally get it. As far as fakes of him, all the Von Erichs had pretty unique signatures. I'd say one of the problems is because they did so many signatures on the fly, they can all look different. I mean, I would say I have 5 Kerrys. I think one just says Kerry. They can be very rushed, and that's part of it. All of mine came from, this is the one that, I knew where it came from, that particular era of those early Arezzi conventions. But the other ones were from longtime fans who just sold. I happened to luck into buying their old collections. You can see the one with Bo, his dog behind me, that I featured on the World Class vlog. And they vary so much, though, that unless you got them that way, it can be a little confusing. It can be a little, do I really have a real one? And I'll say this. I saw one that probably would have passed any authenticator. I didn't see it in person. Somebody posted a picture online, and what it was a signed Kerry Von Erich Hasbro figure, which would be one of the grail of signed Hasbro figure collecting. Any figure collecting. I mean, it's the only figure he had at the time when he was alive. Now, honestly, if I had just looked at the signature, it matched up very well to one of his neater signatures like that, or even the one on the photo behind me. And it was on a foreign card, French card. And I honestly don't know, as I was a little kid in the United States at the time, I don't know when the foreign figures hit their markets as opposed to the United States. I mean, was Kerry released in 92 like he was here? Could have been, maybe not. But here was the problem. wasn't so much that it was on the French card. The problem was that it was signed, the edge of his signature was signed over the KB Toys 3 for $5 price tag, which, if anybody remembers, it could have been late 94, but it was definitely into 95 that KB got a whole bunch of foreign carded Hasbros and put them on sale 3 for $5. It was the little tag that was supposed to look like an employee put the little 3 for $5 over the $5.99 or whatever it was, or $2.99, whatever. But it was really printed out. I mean, it fooled me for years. I thought some employee, the early ones, I mean, I had Star Wars figures that really the employee put a little red marker on there, but later on, they were printed that way. The problem is, again, Kerry died in 93. There's no way he could have signed that figure and had it go over onto the sticker, that particular price sticker. If it didn't have the price sticker on it and he had just signed the French carded figure, again, somebody may know when those French carded figures hit the French market. But as far as the United States at KB Toys, it was not until, like I said, late 94, maybe definitely into 95. I mean, I remember, searching. I had them all at that point, but I remember searching, looking through. I remember there was this other kid looking. He was quite a bit younger than me. He actually did that, like, I don't even know if the Brett commercial was out there where the kid goes, Brett! But he actually did that. He found a Brett in the back. He's like, Brett! Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Kerry and his autograph. Again, there are plenty out there. I mean, if I have 5 and I've never met him, there are plenty out there. The problem is, are they available? Like I said, I looked into several they were all young women's collections. They threw them up on eBay, and I got them at great prices. It's how it goes. But how many of those collections did whoever throw out? It's like my parents with their baseball cards. They had like 55 Mantle cards, and Clementes and all that. And parents threw that stuff out. That was not, they were bubblegum cards. They weren't treasures worth 7 figures back then. Life changes. But personally, nowadays, because, you see the rare autographs. You see people say, what's this worth? What's that worth? I mean, I wouldn't think that a Kerry would really go for more than 500, but you never know. You can't really put a price on anything anymore, because with eBay, the latest eBay selling price is what it's worth, because everybody in the world's eyes are on that, and anybody who's looking for one is going to eBay. That's how it is. It's hard to grade. I mean, you never see a Chris come up. I have a Chris, I have a David, I have them all, at least one of all of them, and it's just a hard market to gauge. You really, if you want to know the price, you kind of have to just list it on eBay and not list it for anything below of what you're willing to take. But none of my Kerrys are for sale. There are some on eBay. I had recently looked. Some of them looked good. Most of them look good, I think. And it's a fun hobby, but it can be challenging to get something that's affordable. And I do all my collecting affordable collecting. That's my key. Maybe we'll do a tutorial on that soon. But in the meantime, enjoy the world-class vlog.